Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Firstly, a massive congratulations to KAUNAS 23. You have won the Type 59, a very unique and sought-after vehicle for this absolutely amazing replay in your E-50M. This was the most damage done in the entire competition in a medium tank. Now, a lot of people would be thinking, wow, I'm quite surprised. Usually the tank destroyers are the ones that have those absolutely massive games. But lo and behold, it's the E-50M. It's got fantastic frontal armor. Its turret armor, while fallible, is still pretty good. But the highlight of this tank is the mobility increase over the E-50, as well as also gaining gun depression over the front of the tank, which the Tier 9 German medium tank doesn't have. Now the gun is pretty much exactly the same as on the Tier 9 variant of this vehicle, the E-50, but it gets a massive penetration increase, 50 millimeters of penetration up to 270, and that allows this tank to be so reliable at doing damage to its targets. It's not going to do it very quickly. It has the worst DPM of any of the Tier 10 medium tanks, but doesn't have an autoloader. It has 6.25 rate of fire with its 105mm. When you compare that to, for example, the SDB-1, which fires 7.5 rounds a minute, this thing can struggle to keep up if the rate of fire is an issue. And in this replay, it's far better to have accuracy and very high penetration, as well as the low aim time of this tank, be able to pinpoint your shots in. Now, rate of fire is great, but it's only useful, obviously, if you can use it. In some instances, it's far better to be reliable with the shots you take. As we see KAUNAS pinpointing a shot in here against the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV. Now, with this kind of a situation, at these mid to long ranges, the E-50M armor is very strong, especially if it's angled like this. One thing I see throughout this replay is KAUNAS angles his frontal plate very well, and he hides the inside of his tank. Obviously, if you angle the E-50M like this, the whole of the side armor is quite vulnerable. But if you don't angle it like this, then your lower plate is vulnerable. Now, if you manage to get to a corner like this and hide the side of your tank, as KAUNAS is going to show us throughout the replay, you are able to pretty much bounce everything. Now he finds a friendly tortoise in trouble. There's an AMX 1375 that manages to have the tortoise's rear. Now the AMX does not want to get shot by the E-50M, and so he's using the tortoise for cover. And KAUNAS is unable to pinpoint a shot into that Tier 7 French light tank, and his tortoise buddy does get taken out. He now also has a Tier 10 French medium tank engaging him at long ranges. Luckily his armor holds true, not taking a point of damage from that 105mm shell that hit him. And just check out the marksmanship that you can have on this tank. That one went a little high, but it was a very slim shot. Manages to put another one into a bat-chat. And right now, the aim time, the accuracy, and the penetration of the E-50M allow it to do such reliable damage. By the time this E-75 saw that KAUNAS was aiming at him, it was too late. He puts one into the bat-chat, tries to ram it, does 175 with that tiny little graze on the bat-chat, and finishes them off with a great third-person shot there. What an intense engagement this is. He puts one into the side of the Lorraine. The Lorraine fails to ram the Waffenträger, but KAUNAS uses the excellent ramming potential of the E-50M to finish him off. doing 178 damage to him with that tiny little shunt. But now he has to deal with this tier 9 Chinese heavy tank that tracks him. KAUNAS doesn't use his repair kit, not feeling too threatened, instead puts shots into the lower plate of the WZ-111. This is the 1.4 variant, but it does look like it is using a stock turret, which is unfortunate for this enemy 1.4. I think KAUNAS bounced at his Waffenträger auf Panzer IV friend there. And unfortunately that means that the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV gets taken out, but allows KAUNAS to finish off the 1.4 and then immediately make his way towards the cap circle. 6,375 damage done and 5 kills. That was a completely crazy engagement. Absolutely ridiculous. And yet the E-50M has only lost about a third of its hit points. 750 damage off its total, and it has got 2,050 hit points, this vehicle. 2 ram kills. What a result. Now, 3 tanks are spotted on the other flank, which means the T-69 must be inside the cap circle. There he is. 1 into him, and the T-69 misses. And right now, being above this T-69, there's not very much chance for him. And KAUNAS decides that he wants to ram another tank to death. That is the 3rd of the game. And he barely takes any damage in return. In retrospect, however, I think that considering that KAUNAS knew that he wasn't going to be ambushed by the tanks on the other flank, he could have done that a little bit more carefully. He probably didn't need to lose the health from ramming the T-69 there, which had already fired 2 and can pretty much not penetrate the front of the E-50M unless it's aiming up into its lower plate, which I guess was a possibility. Nevertheless, kill secured. If you can ram something, it's so tempting to be able to do so, especially when you're playing in this very heavy, high engine powered tier 10 German medium tank. And who am I to talk? I use a Sporliner on my E-50M just for the lols, because that's what this tank is so fun to do. Just huge, great rams, as well as controlled impact on my driver. I'm not sure what cruise skills KAUNAS is using. He's probably not as crazy as me when it comes to using that Sporliner. And, oh, firstly, don't use a Sporliner on this tank. It's just me being ridiculous. Nevertheless, let's get back into what's important here. And that is that there's a Lorraine 40T on KAUNAS' team who never loaded into the battle. And this T-34 is taking advantage of that. The T-34 realizes that it's probably not best if he shoots an AFK Lorraine when an E-50M is about to start chewing him up, and so turns his attention to KAUNAS. KAUNAS misses 1 shot, but connects his second, and then gets into another excellent position. And right now, this T-34 is just so outclassed. There's not much he can do. KAUNAS knows that his rate of fire is 50% better than the T-34's, and decides to ram another tank. Again, I'm not sure about that ram, to be honest. Another 250 health points lost, albeit that was his 4th ram kill of this game. How crazy is that? It's only just dawned on me how many tanks KAUNAS rammed to death. But yeah, I think that 250 health was a bit wasted. I think he could have not taken that hit, considering the T-34 was still reloading. Nevertheless, same argument, if you can ram it, you should, because you are playing in an E-50M. So now, KAUNAS sees that there's 2 tanks in the cap circle. And thankfully, because it's in counter, he has a good amount of time to get there. Both the E-100 and the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV are respectable players, very experienced, and decided that they don't want to go and fight KAUNAS. They want to put pressure on the cap. During this whole battle, all 8,788 damage of it, KAUNAS has not fired 1 heat round yet. And I would be very tempted to fire heat at the E-100 in this situation. But let's see what happens. There's an Amarakt VK4502B that is going to allow KAUNAS to hide behind. He catches the E-100 by surprise, connecting a good shot into the side of that vehicle. Not content yet. He's trying to evade the shot from the enemy 100. Puts one into the back of the tank, setting him on fire. And oh my word, it looks like the E-100 had already been set on fire this battle as he burns. The Waffenträger auf Panzerwehr bounces a 150mm heat shell off the E-50M, and the E-100 panic shoots at KAUNAS. And right now, he has to be so happy. He says in his chat, 11,000 damage and a tear to his eye as he connects the last shell into the E-100. What an absolutely preposterous result. This was over 11,000 damage and 9 kills for KAUNAS 23. He completely carried his team right up until the end, and some good marksmanship into the back of the E-100 and a little bit of luck that the E-100 had already used his fire extinguisher allowed him to take out 2 very dangerous players in 2 very dangerous tanks at the end of the game. Thank you so much for this replay, KAUNAS. It was an excellent example of what the E-50M is good for, having great frontal armor, precise gun that you can rely on, and also able to ram its opponents to death very easily. And so that's why I'm pleased to say that you will be receiving the Type 59, the top prize in this competition. So congratulations to you. I hope you enjoy it. So let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. KAUNAS received 245,000 credits for this game, 7,632 experience for his double. Should be noted, however, that this was due to an event that was going on, so it effectively was a triple. And there was also some kind of special credits multiplier. But if we take that away, 145,000 credits in a tier 10 tank is simply amazing. He got the Defender Medal, unsurprisingly a high caliber for 11,000 damage. A tank sniper for causing the highest amount of damage at a distance of at least 300 meters, and also a Radley Walters Medal for his 9 kills, 1 away from a Pools Medal, which would have been thoroughly deserved for a replay of this caliber. Including a couple of the blind shots that KAUNAS hit, he did nearly 12,000 damage. Firing 35 shots, 32 of those hit, and 30 of the 32 penetrated. His armor held up well, blocking 2,260 damage, giving him a potential damage received of nearly 3,000. The E-50M is very resilient if it doesn't get shot in the side or the rear. I'll be giving this replay a firm thumbs up. Thank you so much for submitting it to the replay competition, and congratulations for winning. And hopefully all of you guys enjoyed this video as well. Please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about the E-50M. Are you an avid fan of this tank? Do you drive it all the time? Is it your favorite tier 10 medium tank? And if so, why? I'd also like to say a big thank you to all of you. I must have watched at least 200 of the 3,000 replays. There were so many fantastic games that it was so hard to choose between them. But a big thank you to all of you for making this possible. In other news, I finally got 4 of my female crew, which I've put inside the Conway, so if you want to come and see an all-girl crew, then you can check out the live stream tonight. And I also completed the entire first series of missions, so I've unlocked the Stug Fear, so you can see that as well, which I will be playing on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby pretty much after you see this video. Anyway, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.